Gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. So I had wanted to go live for all of you and wanted to do this. I actually should be going live on my Instagram page. Wanted to do this live segment for all of you, but I got derailed. Someone sent me something this morning. You can watch the previous live video or go to my Facebook page to watch it. And it just blew my mind. You know, when you get information that comes in and you're shocked, but not really, because it's kind of to be expected in any sense of the world. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Looks like we have people on here. Tell me where you're tuning in from, and do me a favor, you guys, as you come on here, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. So, if you didn't see my video earlier, it was actually on Facebook, Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox. So sad. I use this as a reference, and you'll want to go watch the full video. But this was something that my beloved got me around 2014, and the reason I had him get this for me, we were in an art gallery in downtown San Diego. And believe it or not, this costs a small fortune. It's more than most people pay for like their mortgage in a year. Um, was because it reminded me of a pair of slippers that my dad had got me when I was a little girl. And they were doggy slippers, because, hello, I love dogs. And the dog had on a pink and turquoise and purple jacket. And so I've always, even my logo is, pastels with gold. And then my podcast and my products for my spiritual store are the deeper purple and deeper turquoise. And then for my other, career in wellness, it's the pastels. And even my deck is this coloring with the deep, rich colors. And I found out that actually my ex and his partner have not only plagiarized my work again, but also have stolen my color palette, my fonts, and some wording. And someone actually in the marketing community, a couple that I've worked with in health and wellness on the DL, actually reached out to me really in disgust over it. They were like, I can't believe this. He shared this link or something like that, or I forget what they said. But what this brought up for me was about being a conscious creator and what that really means. And what that means is birthing ideas and things from within ourselves, not from others, right? And so when you see people try to emulate you to such a degree that like it's being purposely done to like, hey, look, it's so childish that you come to a place where you're like, okay, do I take the file folder of information of trolls that were sent to me, of fake accounts used to target me, and do I go after them? Or do I just look at this from an above perspective, like this is really immature? These are people trying to target my business and attack me online while stealing from me. It's really the lowest vibration you can be. But then I have to remember who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with, people who smoke, they do a lot of drugs, and so I have to look at that and think, okay, that's where they are, and this is where I am. And it's really sad. But the fact that people that know them reach out to me about it and become my clients and things like that, that's kind of like God's way of saying, you know what, people see through that. And there's so many beautiful color palettes out there. I'm just like, wow, but you chose mine. And, my mom's always like, you should be flattered. And I'm like, okay, flattered about the stalking, flattered about the harassment, or flattered about what? But I'm not flattered. I'm actually, especially since it stems from my dad, who I love dearly. And that's where those colors first were born for me, and my grandmother's garden and the picture that my beloved got me. It's painful. And it's, God, I almost want to cry. It's exhausting. And I think most of all, even though it doesn't trigger to the mass extent, hang on. Beautiful, I'm live.
Are you live?
I am live. Did you hear me say your name? Because yeah, I'm live.
Oh, well, I'm trying to hang up.
Because the low life tribe, they copied my website, and I was sad. And I said, my mom would say you should be flattered, and I'm not. I'm not. I'm sad. I'll call you in a little bit. The low life tribe is back at it. I love you. I love you. I'll call you back. Bye. Anyway, um, so back to what I was saying. So for years, they've tried to hide my work while elevating themselves and stealing from me because I'm a very creative person. And so what I'm trying to do is see this from an above perspective. I also know that Saturn being in charge right now, and Saturn being in Pisces, meaning Capricorn having moved into Pisces, they will not prosper off anything that was taken from anyone else. So that gives me a lot of peace being a Pisces. Okay, so let's get into this reading real quick. Ooh, that flew across the floor. So we have boundaries. Yeah, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries of what you will and will not tolerate, well being, something that's affecting your well being, your health, your wellness, maybe even your sleep. And on the other side, we have vibration in reverse. So, who is affecting your sleep and your livelihood and everything? Someone who's in the wrong vibration, someone who has the opposite vibration as you, someone who we had growth in reverse, someone who's had no soul's growth and evolution, someone who's immature. We have immature, card number 8. And then we have this in reverse, card number 3, awareness in reverse. So, you know, if you're on this end and you're being targeted in any way, say you have an online business, trolls, hackings, whatever, people that don't play by the rules and think it's cool not to, I would say sit tight. I would say protect yourself with boundaries, possibly legal boundaries. And I would say, Capricorn is in the sign of Pisces. And so people who don't understand astrology don't have the knowledge that what this means is for the next 3 years, Capricorn is like I don't want to use the grandfather analogy anymore, although that's the Capricorn energy, the very stern, knows all, sees all, what have you. I would say, like, say you're at college and there's a dean of the school, and he just sits back for 3 years while Capricorn is in Pisces, and he looks over all the students and everything they're doing creatively, everything they're doing for money, everything they're doing. This dean looks over all the students. And when that 3 years is up, boom, anything that was done out of malice, out of jealousy, out of envy, any stealing, any, wrongdoing, any trying to like emulate others to create your own wealth and abundance, that's going to fall. So, whatever you're creating now over the next 3 years, while Capricorn is in the sign of Pisces, especially if you're dealing with a Capricorn or a Pisces, at the end of this 3 years, the people who are consciously creating are going to be rewarded. The people who continue to do the old methods of stealing from others to try to make themselves appear like something they're not, right? Down to hand mannerisms to hats or color schemes on websites to whatever, it's going to fall. You can't make money, especially while Taurus is in the North Node, especially when Capricorn is in the sign of Pisces, especially if you're trying to take from the Pisces or Capricorn. Look at your placements. If you don't have a Pisces sun or a Pisces moon or a Capricorn sun, and you're actually taking from other people's creations and claiming them as your own when you've actually got their website up next to the one you're trying to recreate, if you're taking people's taglines, if you're trying to emulate others, that is going to fall. And you may make a little bit of money off of it at first, but then at the end of that 3 years, you lose it all and then some. So if you have a fear of being broke and you're trying to emulate someone else, I would think again, because you're going to end up broke. You got to watch it, especially you that kind of lie on your taxes and claim kids that aren't yours and get SBA loans and things like that you don't really, control. Seek seclusion. Yeah. Instead, go within. Go within. Really look at what you're doing, look at what you're creating and say, wow, did I really get that pastel color scheme out of my own idea, or did I look at someone else's website and what someone else dreamed up, what someone else was inspired by, and I got inspired by them, but I also don't like them, so I wanted to steal from them. That's important. When you're competitive by nature and when you have, it's fine to have some competition in your life, but when you actually don't like someone else and still steal from them, that's not good. That's like you're bringing all that anger and angst you have towards that person into your actual creative endeavor. So you need to think about that. When you have a dislike for someone, when you look at them with jealousy and envy, and then you take their color palette from their website and put it as yours, that's not on the up and up. That's not in conscious creator alignment. That's in thievery mode. So this is a message for you if that's you. Mental repetition in reverse. Okay, so for a long time, you were like, oh, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And so you wait a significant amount of time to take this person's work to do this, and then you decide to move forward with it. That's still not good. And the person on the other side has replenished, so they're getting plenty of sleep over this, and then barriers. So they see this and are going to take action against it. So that's good. So if you're the type of person like I am, and for years you've let someone literally imitate you to the point of and tear you down on the internet and try to ruin your name and then steal from you in the process, maybe if you're like me, you have a huge file folder worth of things and full of things, and maybe you're ready to move forward with that. Now is the time. When Capricorn is in Pisces, especially if you're a Pisces or a Capricorn, now is the time. And your treasure has been tampered with, you have been tampered with, you will get the best results acting now. Cleansing waters, purifications, activates vibrant life force energy. Yeah, you know this. You know how to raise your vibration. You know to create from within, especially if you're a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. But other people who are taking from you, they don't know this, right? All they know is to hate on you, to attack you, and then to steal from you in the process. So what you can do is, protect. Uncovering treasure, protect it. The answers are within. Take shelter. protected by the angels. You know you're protected by your angels. You know you're protected by your grandmother, your grandfather, your mother, your father, the people that are around you and that walked before you. You know this. You are cherished by the angels. Begin now, take your first step, and you will have the gates of triumph. Success expands in your life. Success expands in your life, and you will be triumphant if you take action against what has been done to you. You know, there's a time for us to bury our head in the sand, and then there's a time for us to be like, oh, I see what you're doing. This is kind of awkward and not okay any longer. So when that happens, when things become blatantly obvious and almost obvious to a point where people are doing it on purpose, that is the time where you step into your power and say, you know what, enough is enough. It's time to rise above this, maybe in a legal way for some of you. We have uncovering treasure again. So someone sees you for the treasure box you are, but instead of giving you credit for your work, allowing you to expand and grow and make money off what you create, they want to take from that. They want to, oddly enough, give it to someone else as it's theirs, while sheltering you from everything that's yours. That makes no sense. That's almost a distorted masculine, someone who wants to control, someone who wants to hide you while building someone up. Yeah, you have a view from above. Get the big picture. You need to get the solid big picture because someone's not seeing clearly in this. Distance, thunder, clear the air. And we have this in reverse, and this is a card for them. Transformation in reverse. A fresh, new way of living emerges. So this is someone who has stolen from others their whole life. You could be dealing with a life path number 3. That's the life path of the thief. I'm sorry if I offend any of you. That's why I tell people never to live in a house number that adds up to a 3. It can bring thievery to you. Some of you could be dealing with life path number 3, life path number 8. This is someone who takes from others and expects to be rewarded. But what's happening is whoever these people are, money's coming in, it's going out, they're getting returns, they're losing money, they're having to pay the IRS. There's all these things happening, and they don't understand why this is happening. They don't understand why they have to continue to lower their way of living, etc. And it's because they're taking from others' creativity and claiming it as their own, right? So one of my clients, you know, she has dealt with the same thing I have for years. She is absolutely gorgeous. She's an esthetician and owns an esthetician studio in LA, and she's one of the best. She's a YouTuber. She's got literally close to 1 million followers, and her ex, who she could care less about, was never attracted to anything. His wife opened up a studio down the street from hers, literally hired the same person to make her door sign, has the girls working there wearing the same color of pastel pink lab coats. It's like a joke. And what I told her is, obviously you have like a legal situation here. She goes, I know, and I've been sitting on it. And I told her the same thing I'm going to tell all of you and myself. Now is the time to act. If someone's been tormenting you for years purposely, you know, like, oh, now we're going to take this of yours, and now we're going to take this of yours, and we're going to send trolls to you in the process so your work gets hidden, and I build this facade up over here. You don't do that. You actually take matters into your own hands, especially since Capricorn has moved into Pisces. I hope whoever's going through this, it resonates. I often find that I'm going through the same thing as the people who resonate with this reading. I love each and every one of you. Try to continue to elevate and raise your vibration in spite of the nonsense out there. Be well.